screenshot of this question so that you can refer later. So the question is, draw the uplift pressure diagram. So the question is basically to draw the uplift pressure diagram of a dam of the following data. They have given us the depth, top width and bottom width, and also the tailwater depth is given. Now we have two considerations over here. The first question is asking, question number 1 is asking, consider in the uplift there is no drainage gallery. In question number 2, they have asked us to find the uplift pressure where there is drainage gallery. You will be remembering the basic profile of the dam being triangle, elementary profile being triangle. What was the uplift pressure diagram? So this was uplift pressure diagram. Here were, this is the height h dash, this is the height h. So the value will be W into H and W into H dash. These are the uplift pressure diagram. The tailwater height is H dash, so you have W into H dash. The reservoir water height is H, so you have W into H. This was the basic diagram. Now suppose if you have a drainage gallery, there will be change in this diagram, and this diagram will be changed like this, where at the drainage gallery there is a reduction in the uplift pressure, because this will be W into H, this will be W into H dash. There is no change here. Only thing is that wherever there is a drainage gallery, there is a reduction in the uplift pressure because of the drainage gallery. So this value, this ordinate will be equal to W into H dash, that is the hydrostatic pressure at the toe, this value, plus 1/3 of the difference between the hydrostatic pressure at the toe and the heel, that is 1/3 of WH minus WH dash. So this is the value here at the drainage gallery. Now first you will draw the basic diagram that is given by this question. So here you have the dimension as top width is 20 meters, and then the bottom width is given as 35 meters. So this dimension is 35. This height is given as 90 meters, and this height is given as 8 meters. Okay. Now what is the value of gamma into H? Gamma, or otherwise W into H. W into H will be equal to 90 into 1 is equal to 90. W into H dash is equal to 8 into 1 is equal to 8. But then they have given us that only 45% of the area of cross section is affected by this, is considered for uplift. So you don't have to consider the whole of this thing. The H is only 45%. So what you have to do, you have to take 45% of this value. So the uplift pressure at the heel will be equal to, uplift at heel will be equal to 0.45 times 90. Uplift at toe will be equal to 0.45 times 8. So the values will be 40.5 meter as well as 3.6 meters. Okay. So how will be your uplift pressure diagram? Uplift pressure diagram will be like this. This value will be equal to 40.5. This value equal to 3.6. What is this dimension? That is 35. Okay. So this is the uplift pressure diagram for the first part of this question. Now consider the second question. You have to provide a drainage gallery at 1.5 meters from the base, from the vertical face. So you have a second figure. You have to consider the drainage gallery. A drainage gallery is provided. So what is the difference? What will be the difference here? The uplift will be reduced at the point where the drainage gallery is provided. So what is the difference? First you have to calculate the difference. The value, this ordinate is given as W into H, that is 40 point, what is WH here is 40.5 plus 1/3 of what? Sorry, W into H dash. W into H dash here is 3.6. So 3.6, that is the toe pressure, plus 1/3 of the difference between the toe and the heel, that is 40.5 minus 3.6. Okay. So it is equal to, this value will be equal to 15.9 meters. So the uplift pressure diagram will be like this. This will be 40.5 itself. this will be 3.6 itself, but then at the drainage gallery you have an ordinate, and this ordinate value is equal to 15.9. Okay, so this is the uplift pressure diagram in case of a dam with a drainage gallery. Okay, so this is the question number 1. Hope you understood the question number 1, where you just have to draw the uplift pressure diagrams. Now move to the second question. They have given us the elementary profile of the dam, and they have given us the limiting height. There is a small change here. This is limiting stress. Okay, they have provided us the limiting height, the weight, the unit weight. So I will be considering all these things in kilonewton. Just read through the question. Now you know that what is the safe height, safe limiting height. What is the equation for finding the safe limiting height of the dam? It is equal to, H is equal to F by gamma W SC minus C plus 1, right? Now if you are not considering the uplift, what is the formula? This formula become F by gamma W into SC plus 1. Okay, now just go through the question. First part is asking us to find the safe limiting stress ignoring the uplift. So this is the equation that you have to use here. Now second question is asking for considering the uplift. So this equation you have to use for the second part of the same question. So first find out, you have to find the safe limiting stress. So this is the unknown here. This F is the unknown here. What is the value of H? The H value is given as 90 meters. Gamma W is 9.81. SC is equal to 2.4 and 1. What will be the value of F? Just rearrange this equation. You will get the value of F as 90 into 9.81 into 2.4 plus 1, that is equal to 3001.86 kilonewton per meter square. Okay, so what is the base width? Base width will be equal to H by root SC, that is equal to 90 by root of 2.4, that is equal to 58.09 meters. 58 meters is the base width. Now the second part of the question is asking us to find the H and the base width considering the uplift. So from this part you have found out the value of F. This F you will be substituting it here, and the rest of it you have to calculate. Now one more thing they have said, if you are considering the factor of safety, the factor of safety is taken as 2. So 2 times H is equal to 300 and factor of safety. Just change the question as considering the uplift and the factor of safety. F is equal to 3001.86 divided by gamma W is 9.81 into SC is 2.4. What is the C value? The C is uplift intensity factor 0.67. So 0.67 plus 1. Okay. So what is the value of H? H is equal to 3001.86 by 2 into 9.81 into 2.4 minus 0.67 plus 1. Okay. So from here you will be getting the value of H as 56 meters. Okay. So considering the uplift, you just have a height of 56 meters. Now what is the base width? B. Base width B is given by the equation H by root of SC minus C, that is equal to 56 divided by, so the limiting height has reduced very much because 90 is now 56 considering the uplift. 2.4 minus C is 0.67, that is equal to 42 meters, 42.5 meters exactly. So this is the question number 2, where they have just asked us to find the safe limiting stress and safe limiting height. So you have to know the two basic equations here, that is H is equal to F by gamma W SC minus C plus 1 considering the uplift. If the uplift is not considered, the term C is not there. So this will be our equation, and based on that you have the base width B is equal to H by root of SC minus C. If C is not there, the equation become H by root of SC. Okay, so that is what we used here, where there is no C or uplift is not considered. Unit intensity, uplift intensity factor will not be considered there, so the value C is to be ignored. So you have to study these two equations and then understand that the value, the term C is considered only if the uplift is to be considered. If the uplift is not there, the term C can be ignored completely. The equation becomes like this. So study the basic equations, that is H is equal to F by gamma W SC minus C plus 1 and B is equal to H divided by root of SC minus C. Okay, so these two equations you have to study. So we move to the next question. The next question is introducing a new concept. So just read through the question. Show that for an elementary profile of a dam, Morris-Levy's criteria gives the same requirement of base width as that with no tension requirement with unit intensity factor. So you have the base width based upon the no tension criteria. What is the equation to find the base width with no tension criteria? The equation is B is equal to H by root of C minus 1, right? So this is the basic equation for finding the base width. Now this equation, you have to prove that this equation is same as that we get from Morris-Levy's criteria. What is this Morris-Levy's criteria? Morris-Levy's criteria, it can be stated as, according to this criteria, the normal or the vertical stress at each point along the upstream face of the dam computed without considering the uplift. That is, you're not going to consider the uplift. You're going to find out the vertical stress at each point in the uplift phase. It should be compressive and it should not be more than or equal to the hydrostatic pressure at that point. So here what it's saying, the compressive stress at the uplift upstream phase of the dam, this can be equated to what? This can be equated to the hydrostatic pressure at that point. So what is hydrostatic pressure at that point? Hydrostatic pressure at the upstream side, it can be given as this value. This value will be equal to W into H. This W into H can be equated to the compressive stress at that point. Okay, so that is compressive stress at the heel. What is the compressive stress at the heel? You may be knowing P heel equal to what? Sigma V by B into 1 minus 6E by B. Okay, so what is Morris-Levy's concept saying? The Morris-Levy's concept is saying that this will be equal to W into H. That is sigma V by B 1 minus 6E by B is equal to W into H. That is, W is the specific weight of the water. Okay, so this is the concept. Now you have to prove that the equation for B that we get using this basic criteria is same as that we get using the tension criteria, not tension criteria. Okay, so it is said that there is no concept of, while computing the stresses, the uplift pressure is not considered. Okay, so you don't have to consider the uplift, that is this force is not there. This is not there. You just have to consider this and this, the basic forces that act on the dam profile. Okay, what are the other forces that act here? If the uplift is not considered, you have this water pressure acting and you have the weight of the dam acting downward, right? These are the two main forces acting here. What would be the value of this weight, water pressure? Water pressure will be equal to P is equal to WH square by 2, right? It's the area of the pressure distribution diagram. What is the weight of the dam? Weight of the dam can be written as, you know that the basic profile of a elementary profile of a dam is a triangular, right angle triangle. So the area will be half into base into height into, that is area into unit weight. Right? What is unit weight? Unit weight is equal to specific gravity into unit weight of water, right? So that is S is equal to unit weight of material by unit weight of water. So what is unit weight of material? That will be equal to S into unit weight of what? That is S into W. So area into unit weight. Fine. So you got the value of weight. Now consider in this case here what will be sigma V? Sigma V is the vertical force, summation of all the vertical forces. Is there uplift pressure? Uplift pressure is not there. So what is the only vertical force here? That is the weight of the dam. So sigma V is equal to what? The weight of the dam itself. That is sigma V is equal to half into BH into S into W. That is the value of sigma V. Okay. So you can substitute this value in the equation. So what is the equation become? Half into B into H into S into W divided by B into 1 minus 6E by B, that is equal to W into H. Okay. We are going through the Morris-Lewis criteria. Cancel will get cancelled. W will get cancelled. H and H will get cancelled. So the equation become S by 2 is equal to S by T into 1 minus 6E by B is equal to 1. Otherwise, you can rearrange and find the equation for E. What will be the equation for E that you get? 1 minus 6E by B is equal to 2 by S, or otherwise E is equal to, just rearrange this equation, you can find the value of E. E is equal to B by 6 minus B by 3S, right? So the 6E by B will be equal to 1 minus 2 by S, which will be equal to E is equal to B by 6 into 1 minus 2 by S. So you will be getting this equation. Fine. So you got the equation for E using the Morris-Lewis criteria, that is B by 6 into B by 6 minus B by 3S. Fine. Now let us find it based on the tension criteria. Otherwise the you can just consider that you will take another sheet. Okay. Now you have the elementary profile of the dam, and you know that the resultant will be passing through some point. Okay. So if O dash be the point of intersection of the resultant R of the two forces, for the two forces here you have a P acting here, you have a weight W acting here, right? So the resultant is passing through the point O dash. This is the resultant R, and it passed through the point O dash. Okay. R is the two forces at the base of the dam. Okay. By taking the moment of all the forces about this point, you're going to take the moment of all the forces at this point. What will be the moment calculation? W h square by 2. What is W h square by 2? This P. W h square by 2 into, what will be this height? It will be equal to h by 3. This is h by 3, right? H by 3. This is the, what kind of moment? This is an overturning moment, right? So what will be the balancing moment here? It will be because of the weight of the structure. So the balancing moment will be equal to, overturning is equal to, overturning moment is equated to the balancing moment. The equation becomes half into, what is the W? W into, the W is equal to half into B into H into S into W. That is the W. Okay. This term is W. Fine. Into what? Into E plus B by 6. That is the lever arm there. So what is the equation for E? Solving this, you will be getting it as, just cancel out the common terms and substituting it again, you will be getting h square by 3 is equal to S into E plus B by 6, right? So from that you have to take the value of E. You can write it as this, as h square by 3s is equal to E plus B by 6, or E is equal to h square by 3s into B. Here you have a B also, right? So S into B. S and B are left back, minus B by 6. That is the value of E. Right? Now, what you have to do? You have to equate it with the previous equation. What was the previous equation? The previous equation was this one. E is equal to B by 6 minus B by 3s. Okay. So, you can equate B by 6 minus B by 3s will be equal to h square by 3sb minus b by 6. Right? So, b is equal to what? Solve this equation. You will get b is equal to h by root of s minus 1. This is same as this base width is same as that required for no tension criteria with unit intensity factor. So, this is the same Morris-Lewis criterion, and it is same as that because of no tension criteria. So, it's one and the same. So, this is how you prove that the Morris criteria and the tension criteria both gives us the same equation. Okay. So, this is the Morris-Lewis criteria question where they have asked us to find out the base width using the Morris-Lewis criteria. The basic thing here is you must know what Morris-Lewis criteria say. The Morris-Lewis criteria says that without considering the uplift, the normal stresses at the upstream phase of the dam, this phase will be equal to the hydrostatic pressure at that point. That you have to equate the heel pressure, the heel P heel, that is sigma V by B into 1 minus 6 E by B can be equated to what? Can be equated to the hydrostatic pressure at that point, that is equal to W into H. Okay. So, you can just equate them and you can find out the value of E using this criteria, and also you can take the moment about the point where the resultant passed through, and you can find the another equation for E and equate these two criteria, these two equations for E, and then you can find that the value of B will be same as that you required, that is H by root of SC minus 1. Okay. So, this is the question number 3. Hope you understood this one. Now, the next question is, it's a very direct question. They have given us this stability analysis. Okay. Of the following data were obtained from the stability analysis of the concrete dam, where they have given us the overturning moment, total overturning moment, the resisting moment, the vertical forces, the base width and slope. They have given all the details directly, and they have asked us to find the maximum and minimum vertical stress at the foundation subjected and the maximum principal stress at the toe. Okay. So, 3 things we have to find, that is P max and P minimum and sigma. 3 things we are supposed to find. Okay. To find P max and P minimum, first what we must require? What is the equation for P max? We will be remembering P max by P minimum, that's equal to sigma V by B into 1 plus or minus 6 E by B. Right. So, here they have given us sigma V. Sigma V is given as total vertical stress. Base width they have given us. So, the only unknown here is E. E value is not known to us. That's eccentricity. How to find the eccentricity value? E is given as B by 2 minus X bar. Right? Where X bar is the, so this is the resultant, means this distance is X bar and this eccentricity is equal to E. So, first you have to find X bar. What is this X bar? X bar is equal to sigma M by sigma V. Here in this case they have given us the resisting as well as the overturning moment. So, from these two values you have to find sigma M. The sigma V value is directly given. Once these two values are known, you can find X bar. Once X bar is known, you can find b by 2. The b value is also given. Here they have given us the b value also. B by 2 minus x bar, which will be giving us the value of E. From the E value, you can substitute it here and you can find the value of P max and P minimum. So first we will start with finding sigma m. What is sigma m? That is total moment, right? What total moment is equal to what? It can be taken as resisting minus overturning, right? What is the resisting moment? 2 into 10 raised to 5 minus 1 into 10 raised to 5. That is sigma m. What is sigma v? Sigma v is directly given as 5000. Okay. So what will be this value? This is x bar value, that is equal to 20 meters, right? Now what is E? E is equal to b by 2 minus x bar. What is b? B is given as 50 meters. So 50 by 2 minus 20, which will be value will be equal to 5 meters. 25 minus 20 is equal to 5 meters. Fine. So you found the value of x bar, and from that you find the value of E also. Right. Now you have to find the P max and P minimum, or otherwise P at the toe is equal to 1 sigma V by B 1 plus 6E by B. What is the value? Sigma V is equal to 5000 by B is equal to 50. 1 plus 6 into 5 by 50, right? So the value will be equal to 160 10 per meter square. It will be compressive. The poly is positive, so it's compressive. If the value comes to be negative, you must understand it is tension. Now, what is P at the heel? The P heel will be equal to sigma V by B 1 minus 6E by B. So, the same equation again, 5000 by 50 into 1 minus 6 into 5 by 50, right? So, you will be getting it as 40 tons per meter square. Again, it is positive, which indicates it is compressive. There is no tension developing at the heel also. Now, the next part of the question is to find sigma, right? So, sigma at the toe. You have to find the sigma toe. So, sigma downstream or sigma toe is equal to, what is the equation for finding sigma toe? The equation is sigma toe or sigma D is equal to P at toe, that is the vertical as a normal stress at the toe, this part, into secant square phi at toe or phi at downstream. Okay, toe or downstream you can say. So what is the secant square phi d? How to find secant square phi d? The P value you already know, that is 160 into, right, 160 ton, that's directly you have already calculated. Now you have to find secant square phi d. Secant square phi d can be found out as, they have given us the slope criteria. So what is tan phi d? Phi d is this angle, this is phi d, that is downstream angle. Phi d is given as 0.8 by 1 or otherwise 0.8. Okay, you will be knowing what is 1 plus tan square theta will be equal to secant square theta, right? So using this identity, it is better to use this identity rather than finding out tan, cos and all and then finding the secant. So you can just take it as 1 plus 0.8 square will be equal to secant square phi, right? So 1 plus 0.8 square, you can take it as 1.64. So you will be getting the value as 262.4 ton per meter square as the major principal stress at the toe. Okay, so here they have given us all the moments, that is resisting and overturning moment. They have given us the vertical force and the base width and the slope of the dam. From that you have to find three things: the major and maximum and minimum vertical stress, that is sigma V by B 1 plus as well as 1 minus 6C by B, and then the maximum principal stress at the toe assuming that there is no tailwater. So you don't have to consider there is any water here. So in this case, only thing is that to find the value of P max and P minimum, you need the value of E. E is not given. So to find E value, what you have to do? You have to find the X bar value. From the X bar value, what is the equation for finding X bar value? X bar will be given as, so first you have to find X bar. From X bar is equal to sigma m by sigma v. From X bar will be finding E. From E you will be finding P max and P minimum. Okay, and then from that you will be finding the sigma at the toe value, which will be equal to P at the toe into secant square angle at the toe. Okay, so this is the progress. This is the methodology. Find X. First find X bar. From X bar find E. From E find bar E max and E minimum. From E max and E minimum find sigma. Okay, so this is the answer. 262.4 tons per meter square. Okay, so we'll move to the next question. So the previous question, they have given us the vertical stresses, the total vertical forces, the total total overturning and resisting moment. They have given us these values, and you just have to find out the maximum and minimum stress and principal stress just by substituting in the equation. Now in the next question, what they have done is, they haven't given us the value of total overturning. These three values are not given to us. Okay, so the first step is to find these values. They have given us the basic profile of the dam, and then you have to find these three parameters so that the data is complete. Then you can proceed the same way. So the first step here is, you have, please take a screenshot of this question. In this question, they have given us the profile of this dam. Okay, so what is the profile of this dam? You have the base width as 56 meters, the top width as 6 meters, the water levels at the tail and the upstream level is given, and the bottom level of the dam is also given, the slope is given, there is a drainage gallery at 8 meter. Okay, these are the basic parameters or the basic considerations about the profile of the dam. Okay, having known these things, you have to first find the what all things, these three datas. Okay, only once you find these three data, then you can proceed with the finding the X bar value or E value, and then P max, P minimum. This chart, this flow can begin only once you find this X bar value. So before you have to find the X bar value, you must be knowing sigma m and sigma v, right? So sigma m and sigma v is not directly given. So what to do? First you have to find out the value of sigma m and sigma v. Okay, so note down this question. So here, to solve this question, it will be easier if you have a table like this showing the various forces that may come into picture, as well as the various moments that will happen because of these forces. So you have a name of the force, we have the notations that we use, you have the vertical and horizontal forces acting, and you have a lever arm. So what will be the moment? Moment will be equal to force into lever arm, right? So this force into lever arm. And also one more thing, whenever you have a dam profile, there are certain forces which tries to overturn this dam, right? And there are some forces which tries to stabilize this dam. Okay, so you'll be taking the overturning forces as well as overturning moments as negative, and the stabilizing force acts positive. Okay, so destabilizing force are negative and stabilizing force are considered as positive. Okay, we will start doing this question. The first thing here is that we have to assume, you have to consider only 1 meter length of this dam and do the analysis. Okay, so you will be considering the 1 meter height, and you will be having water here, you will be having water here, right? And this is equal to 1 meter. Okay, is the value of W given? no, the value of W is not given. You can assume it as 1 ton per meter square. Okay, now we will start doing the, what was the first step? X bar, right? So to find X bar you must require sigma m and sigma v. So first find sigma v and sigma m, then find X bar. Once you get X bar you can find E. From E you can find P max and P minimum, and from that we can find the sigma value also. Okay, so the major principal stress, maximum vertical stress at the heel and the toe, major in the pressure intensity of shear at the horizontal plane. The toe value they have also asked toe value also. Okay, now we will start doing this question. So first let us draw the diagram, the pressure distribution diagram. This is the basic dimensions. The gallery is at 8 meters. Don't get confused because this is 8 meter and this dimension is just 6 meters. Okay, don't get confused here. This is 6 meter, this is 8 meters. The gallery is at 8 meters. The base width is 56 meters. What is the freeboard here? This is 289, this is 285, so this is equal to 4 meters. And then what is this height? This level is 205, this level is 285, right? So this height is equal to 80 meters, right? Now, what is the tailwater height? Tailwater height is, this is 205, this is 211. So tailwater height is 6 meters. Okay, so the dimensions are clear now. And one more thing is that this level is 280. Okay, so this height will be equal to, this level being 280, this is 205, so this height will be equal to 75 meters. Okay, so this is the basic sketch. From this we have to draw the other pressure distribution diagram, pressure distribution sketches. First thing is to divide the whole structure into parts so that you can take simple geometric figures so that you can understand how to calculate the weight. So first, what are the main forces that comes here? We have the weight of the structure, you have the uplift pressure, I'll draw it now, weight, uplift, water pressure from here, water pressure from here. These are the 4 basic forces, right? So to find out each of these values, you have to draw the distribution diagrams, or you have to find the area and all. First, let us calculate the let's make a column and then find out the various forces that act here. Make a column. I have already given it in the PPT. Just go through to find the various headings that you have to use. Okay, so the vertical forces here includes the weight of the dam. Okay, the weight of the dam can be split into W1 and W2, right? What is W1 and W2? W1 is this weight, that is the weight of this rectangle is taken as W1. and this triangle is taken as W2, right? Now, what are the other forces here? You have the tail water pressure, right? So this is the pressure distribution diagram of the tail water, and then you will be having a P value will be equal to, or you can write the speed dash, that is P half W into H into, this will be W into H dash, if this is H dash, half W H dash into gamma. So here, what is this value here? This will be equal to this, right? So here you have the pressure distribution diagram starting at the water level. This will be the pressure distribution diagram here. Okay, this value will be equal to W into capital H. Fine. Now, one more thing is this uplift. So, in case of uplift, how will be the values? This value will be equal to W into H. This will be equal to W into H dash. This value will be equal to W into H dash plus 1/3 of WH minus WH dash. Okay. So, you have to find all these values. First, let us find out the W1. Okay. First, we are going to find W1. What is this W1? W1 is equal to, I'll write it here itself. W1 will be equal to, is it a overturning or is it a balancing or resisting moment? It will be, as far as the toe is concerned, it is going to stabilize the structure. So W1 is actually a stabilizing moment. Okay. So you have two type of moments, stabilizing and destabilizing. This P value here, it will be a destabilizing moment. It will be trying to overturn the structure. But this tail water pressure P will be a stabilizing moment, isn't it? Because it will be trying to keep it back to original position. So this is causing an overturning and this is not causing the overturning. It's a resisting moment. So here you have W1. W1 is actually a resisting or destabilizing, it's a stabilizing moment. First, find the value of W1. What is W1? Area of this part, that is this rectangular portion, right? So what is the height of the rectangle here? Height of the rectangle will be equal to 80 plus 4, that is 84, right? So height of the rectangle is 84. What is the width of the rectangle? 6 into, you will be considering 1 meter, right? So into 1 into, what is the material? It's concrete, means 2.4. It is already given in the question, weight of the concrete is taken as 2.4. So 2.4. So this is the value of the W1. Okay. So what is the value of W1? You will be getting it as 1209.6. Okay. Now, where does this W1 act? As far as this toe is concerned, where does this W1 act? What is the lever arm for? For this W1, what will be lever arm here? The lever arm will be the distance, right? What will be the distance? The center of gravity of this figure to this point. This distance is the lever arm. What is the lever arm? Lever arm will be equal to, what is this dimension? This will be equal to 48, right? 48. Or you can say it is 56. This is 50. This value is 50. 50 plus 3, that is 6 by 2, that is equal to 53. That is the lever arm. So what will be the moment caused by this W1? Moment because of W1 will be equal to 1209.6 into this 53, right? So this is the point, this will be the moment. That is the case of W1. Now take W2. What will be W2? W2 is this triangle. This triangular portion, that is W2. Now consider W2. W2, what will be the area of W2? Half into, what is the base? 56 minus 6, that is 50. Into altitude, what is altitude here? This is the altitude, right? So this is the altitude. What is the value? 75 meters. 75 into 2.4. So the value will be equal to 4500, right? Now what will be the lever arm? Because of lever arm for W2, it will be acting at 50 minus 50 by 3. Okay, so the lever arm will be equal to 33.33. Now what will be the moment? Moment will be equal to multiply these two terms. So the moment will be okay. Now what is the next force over here? Next, stabilizing force. One more stabilizing force is there. That is because of the water here. That is, you have this part is having water, right? So this water, it will be having this weight of this water is actually a supportive force, otherwise a stabilizing force. So what is this value? This can be taken as, let it be taken as WD. Okay, so what is the weight of this water? You can consider the area of this triangle, half into base. This value you don't know, but they have given us the slope it as 2/3, right? So this is 6, right? This value is 6. We have already found the tailwater height as 6 meters, right? So what will be this value? 2/3 means this will be 4, right? So the base is equal to half into 4 into 6 into 1, that is equal to 12. What is the lever arm there? That is 4/3. The lever arm is equal to 4/3. That is equal to 1.33. So what is the moment? The moment is equal to 16, right? So you have 3 forces as well as 3 moments, right? 1, 2 and 3 forces as well as 3 moments. Let us fill it up. The magnitude will be equal to, these are the stabilizing, destabilizing, lever arm, moment stabilizing as well as moment negative. These are the positive moments and negative moments. The positive forces are 1209.6, 4500 and 12. Water downstream. Lever arms, 53 was the first lever arm, 33.33 was the second lever arm, 1.33 was the third lever arm. Now the positive moments here will be 6410.9, 15000 and 16. All these are the positive moments, and this sigma m value and sigma v value will be equal to 5721.6, 214125. Okay, so these are the forces in the dam. Now, having found these values, now you have another contributing factor. What is that? That is the uplift. Okay, now you have to do the uplift. To find out the uplift pressures and the uplift forces, you have the uplift pressure diagram here. You have to find the uplift pressure, uplift force. So you can either divide this into 2 trapeziums and find the answer, or otherwise you can do is, I'm just writing it here, you have to make it as a continuous table. So here what you can do is, you can divide this sketch as just like this. If you divide it into 4 parts, and you can write it as u1, u2, u3 and u4, or otherwise you can calculate it as two trapeziums, trapezium 1 and trapezium 2 as U1 and U2. Okay, here I will be taking it as four parts, dividing it into 4 and taking it as U1, U2, U3 and U4, the 4 forces that acts upward. Okay, so now what is this U1? U1 will be equal to, first let us find the values of WH and the other terms. Okay, what is WH? This value will be equal to, this complete value will be equal to W into H. What is W into H? 80, right? Now, what is this value and this value? First, you have to find these two terms separately. Okay. What is this ordinate? This ordinate is given as, what is this ordinate? Again, here you have 6, W into H dash, that is equal to 6 into H dash, 6 here. Now, what is the ordinate at the gallery? At the drainage gallery, the value will be 6 plus 1/3 of 80 minus 6, right? So, the value will be equal to 30.67. So, this value is 30.67. So, what is this value? This will be 80 minus 30.67, that is 49.33. That will be the value here. Okay. Now, what will be U1 then? U1 will be equal to, will it be positive or negative? Uplift is actually causing a overturning effect, right? So, it's going to be negative. Okay. So, U1 will be equal to, I won't be considering this one because I am not going to consider it as trapeziums. I am dividing it into rectangles and triangles. Okay. U1, its negative, it will be equal to 30.69 into, what is this distance? This distance is to the point where the drainage gallery is. The drainage gallery is at a distance of 8 meter from the upstream face. So, 30.69 into 8 into, you will be considering unit length into unit weight of water, that is 1. So, it will be equal to 245.4. Now, what is the lever arm there? This distance is equal to 56 minus 6 is 48. Okay. Now, 48 plus what? Center of this point, that is 4, 8 by 2, right? So, the lever arm will be at 52. So, what will be the moment at U1? At U1 will be multiply these two things. You will be getting it as minus 12761. Okay. So, this is the case of U1. Now, let us consider U2. U2 is this small triangle. This is U2. Okay. So, U2 is equal to half into base is 8 meter. This is 8 meter. What is the altitude? Altitude is equal to 49.33 into 1 into 1. That is equal to 197.3. What is the lever arm of U2? Lever arm of it is equal to 48 plus 2/3 of 8. Right? So, it will be equal to 53.33. What will be the moment M? M due to U2 will be equal to, multiply these two things and you will be getting it as negative 10522. Okay. Now, what is U3? U3 is this rectangle. Okay. This rectangle will be equal to 6 meter. That is 6 into, what is this length? This is 6 meter. This length is 48 meters. Into 48 into 1 into 1, that is equal to 288.00. What will be the lever arm? Lever arm will be equal to 48 by 2, that is 24. Multiply, you will be getting the moment as M due to U3 is equal to 6912. Okay. Now, the last U4, that is this small triangle. Okay. What will be the value though? what will be this value? This will be equal to the total value minus 6, right? So it will be equal to 24.67. Half into base is 48 into 24.67 into 1 into 1. This is 30 point, what was the value? 30.67 minus 6. Okay, that will be equal to, U4 will be equal to you will be having some value for U2 which is equal to 592.1. What will be the lever arm there? The lever arm will be equal to 2/3 of 48. 2/3 of 48, 32 multiply, you will be getting it as 18947. Okay, so this is the uplift pressures. So we have calculated all the vertical forces, right? So the total vertical force sigma V will be equal to the summation of these vertical uplift pressures. You have the 4 values, that is this one, this one, this one and this one. This will give a summation of 1322.8 and the moments will have a summation of 49142. Okay, now what will be the net sigma V? Earlier you have found a value, that is 5721.6 minus 1322.8, which will be equal to 4398.8. that is the sigma V value. The M value will be equal to 85 the sigma V value is equal to this one. Okay, now from here you have to find the sigma M value. Sigma M value is equal to 79675. Previous you have found a value that is something like 2 lakh something, and you have found the value here also. So the value of sigma M is equal to So that's about the vertical forces, the total vertical forces you have calculated. Now you have to calculate the horizontal forces that comes here. What is the horizontal forces that comes here? Horizontal forces are because of two things. That is, you have the water pressure here as well as there is water pressure here. These two are the main contributors for the horizontal forces, that is P and P dash. Okay, so to find P and P dash, what you have to do? On upstream phase you have P. What is the value of P? Half into base is equal to W into H, that is equal to 80. Half base into altitude is again 80 into 1, that is equal to 3200, that is the value of P. Now what is P dash? Half into, what is the base value here? This is 6 and this is also 6. 6 into 6, that is equal to minus 80. So the total H, sigma H will be equal to what? 3182. Okay, now these two will also contribute towards the moment, right? So in the vertical as well as the horizontal forces will be contributing to the moments, right? So here you have this as well as this moments, right? So you have to consider these two moments also. So what will be the lever arm for these two forces? What will be the lever arm here? The lever arm will be equal to 26.67, and for here the lever arm will be equal to 2 meters, 1/3 of 6. So this value will be equal to 85344, as well as this will be equal to 36. This 36 is going to be positive because it's a tail water is going to be a stabilizing force, stabilizing moment. This is a destabilizing moment, so it is going to be negative. So the total here will become the summation of this one plus this sigma m, and then these two values. This will give us the complete, the final or the net sigma m value. Okay, so sigma m will be equal to 214,125 minus 49142 minus this summation will be equal to 85308. So 85308, which will be equal to 79675 meters. Okay, so the table will be like this. You have all the values here. You have the forces, their designations or notations. Then you have the magnitude. You have the lever arm. You have the moments. Okay, the moment can be stabilizing or it can be destabilizing. The forces can be stabilizing, it can be destabilizing, it can be vertical as well as horizontal. Okay, so the various forces that comes in vertical is W1, W2, WD, that is the water in the downstream phase, as well as U1, U2, U3 and U4. Okay, and U4. So these are the various forces here. What will be the values? These will be positive and these will be negative. So this will be W1 is 1209.64500 and 12. The other three values. In the negative side you have 245.4, 197.3, 288.0, 592.1. These are the various forces. From here you will be getting the sigma v value. And then the lever arms, write on the lever arm, also write on the corresponding moments. After getting the lever arms and the moments, then you have the vertical and horizontal forces. Horizontal forces, what are the various forces that come here? P and P dash. Only two forces are there. And also you have the P will be the value will be equal to 3200. This will be equal to 18. Corresponding lever arms you have to write, and you have to write the m value, moments here. And then once you write the moment, you can just find a summation of sigma m. Once you get the sigma v value and sigma m value, what will be the next step to do? The next step will be to find out the x bar value. What is x bar value? X bar is equal to sigma m by sigma v, right? So it will be equal to, here it will be 79675 divided by 4398.8 will be equal to 18.12 meters, right? Now what is the value of eccentricity? E is equal to b by 2 minus x bar, that is equal to 56 by 2 minus 18.12, which will be equal to 9.88 meters. Now what will be the P values, P max at toe will be equal to sigma V by B into, or you can write it as P minimum at heel, 1 plus or minus 6E by B, right? What will be the value? Sigma V is equal to 4398.8 by B is 56 into 1 plus or minus 6 into 9.88 by 56. So P max at toe you will get it as 161.5 tons per meter square. P minimum at heel will be equal to 5.06 tons per meter square. Note that this heel is in tension, that is why negative value has come here. Now what is the major stress? This is the answer for the first two questions. What is the P max and P minimum at the toe? Now the next question is to find the sigma value. Sigma is given by, just because there is tail water, the equation become P at toe into secant square phi at D downstream minus P dash into tan square phi D. So this value will be equal to 161.5. Okay. Now what is the value of phi? The phi is given as tan phi D is equal to 2 by 3, right? So from that you can find secant square phi D is equal to 1 plus 2 by 3 square, or you can write it as 13 by 9. That is 1 plus 4 by 9, 13 by 9. So what is the tan, this value secant square will be equal to 13 by 9 minus P dash is equal to 6 into tan is equal to, tan square is equal to 4 by 9. 2 by 9 square is equal to 4 by 9 square. So this value will be equal to, you will get it as 230.3 tons per meter square. So actually this is safe because up to 300 tons per meter square was our permitted value. So for compression, so this is okay. This is the okay case. And now what was the last part of this question? This question was asking us to find the shear stress at the horizontal plane near the toe. So toe naught will be equal to P at toe minus P dash into tan phi D. So what was the equation? P of toe is 161.5 minus P dash is equal to 6 into tan of phi D is equal to 2 by 3. So the value is 103.7 tons per meter square. That is the value of toe. Okay. So this completes this question. So we will just go through it again. First, what you did was you have to find the value of x bar. To find the value of x bar, you have to find the value of sigma m and sigma v. To find the value of sigma v and sigma m, what you have to do is first you find the make the complete profile into some basic geometric sketches so that you can find the value of the lever arm easily. Okay, so for that what you did is you just divided the wall profile of the dam into a rectangle and a triangle, and you put the weight of the rectangular portion as W1, and you took the weight of this as W1, and this one you took it as W2, right? So and then you found out the weight of these two parts, and corresponding moments of these two weights you calculated using the lever arm. Based on the top, based on this point, you will be taking the lever arm of W1, then you took the lever of W2, and then you found the corresponding moments for W1 and W2. Okay, then again there is one more contributor towards the stabilizing moment. There was this water over here in the just at the toe portion. So you found out the area of this water and you found the weight of this water. this weight of this water, and then you just multiply it with the lever arm and find out the moment caused by this weight also. Okay, then the other force that act here is the other vertical force that act here is this one, that is the uplift pressure. To find out the uplift pressure, you have the equations, or otherwise you can just find it as W into H at the upstream side, W into H dash at the downstream side. Suppose if there was no water, here there was tail water up to 6 meter, that is why the value is W into H dash. Suppose if there was no water, what will be the diagram? How will be the diagram? The diagram will be like this. The ordinate will be 0, right? And then what will be this ordinate? This ordinate is equal to the height of the water into W at the upstream side. Now this ordinate happens to be here just because there is a drainage gallery. If this drainage gallery was not there, then the diagram will be just a triangle, or it will be a trapezium. Okay, this variation comes here just because there is a drainage gallery. So first you have to find the ordinate of this drainage gallery part. So what is the ordinate of the drainage gallery part? It is given as the ordinate at the toe part plus 1/3 of the difference between the ordinates of the toe and the heel. So 1/3 of difference between this and this values. Okay, so that will be giving us the ordinate of the tip of the drainage gallery part. Now you have to find the various upstream forces that act here. To find that, what we did is you just divided the whole uplift pressure diagram into various symbol sketches. So you can use it as 2a plus b by h by 3, that equation that we use for trapezium, that you can use. Otherwise you can just divide the whole thing into rectangles as well as triangles. Okay, so here what we did is you divided the whole diagram into 4 parts having rectangles and triangles, and you found out the value of u1, u2, u3 and u4 corresponding to all these 4 basic sketches. Okay, so you have the u1, this was our basic diagram, and this was our u1, which was a rectangle. This was our u2, which was a triangle. This was our u2, and then here also you were having a u3, which was again a rectangle, and a u4, which was a triangle. Okay, all these 4 things you have to add together. So first you found the areas and multiplied it with the unit weight, or otherwise you can considering the unit length. What was the volume here? Volume will be equal to area into length, that is volume into unit weight of water. So what you get is this one. Okay, you must be careful when you multiply the unit weights, because here once you consider W1 and W2, what is the unit weight that you have to multiply? You have to multiply the unit weight of concrete. Okay, but here uplift is because of the water. So what is the unit weight that you have to consider? The unit weight of water has to be considered here. So this will be the value. Now similarly you found the value of all the 4 uplifts. Okay, and then you found out the sigma v value and the sigma m value corresponding to the uplift also. And then this completes the vertical forces that act here. So you have the weight as well as weight acting downward as well as the uplift pressure acting upward, giving us the net vertical forces. Okay, but the moment contributors doesn't end here. You have another force, that is the horizontal forces that act here. The horizontal force are the water pressure due to the uplift, the upstream water, as well as the water pressure due to the downstream water. These also contribute towards the moment. So otherwise destabilizing and stabilizing moments are caused because of these 2 forces. This P will be causing a destabilizing moment, or overturning moment is produced, and this P dash will be giving us a stabilizing moment or a positive moment. Now you have to consider the find out the forces. How to find out the forces? The pressure distribution diagram. The area of the pressure distribution diagram. You're taking the area of the pressure distribution diagram, and into 1 you'll be giving the value of the forces that act there, and then you have to find the value of sigma h as well as the corresponding lever arm and the moments. Okay, so finally you got all the moments that act in the structure, and you find the value of sigma m. Once you find the value of sigma m, then you can find x bar is equal to sigma m by v, and then once you get x bar, the next is E is equal to v by 2 into x bar. Once you get x bar, E, P max by P minimum, and then from there you will be moving to sigma from sigma you will be moving to tau. Okay, so P max by P minimum, you find the value of P max and P minimum, that is max at the toe and P minimum at the heel, and from that you'll be finding the value of sigma, and then you can find the value of tau. You have the basic equations. You have three equations to study. The first equation is given is x bar is equal to sigma m by sigma v. The second equation is E is equal to b by 2 minus x bar. Third equation is P max or P minimum is equal to sigma v by b into 1 plus or minus 6 E by b. The fourth equation that you have to study is sigma is equal to P tau into secant square alpha or phi d minus P dash into tan square phi d, and then tau is equal to P tau minus P dash into tan phi d. Okay, that is the angle at the downstream. This angle, this is the phi d angle. If this is a dam structure, this angle is taken as phi d. Okay, so these are the equations that you have to study in case of finding the major and the minimum major stress as well as the shear stress acting on a dam structure. Okay, hope this is clear for you. So that is the question number 5. So question number 6 we will see in the next video. So I hope it's clear. You have to study this question number 5. It's very important. And in the question number 6, it's actually check the stability. Okay. So in this case, what you are doing was you are just finding out the various forces that act here. Now the last question is to check the stability. So that is if the forces that act there are safe within the limit, then you can say that the structure is safe. So for that, what you have to find? You have to find the factor of safety. Okay. So after finding all the values that you found in the question number 5, what you have to do is you have to check the factor of safety. Okay. For two conditions, that is the reservoir full condition and the reservoir empty condition. Okay. So once you find the reservoir full and reservoir empty condition and you find the factor of safety value, you can say that the factor of safety value within the limit, you can say that the structure is safe. You may be remembering there were 4 conditions, 4 causes of failure, right? So you have to check for all the 4 causes of failure, and for the 2 conditions, that is reservoir full and reservoir empty, then only you can say that the structure is safe or not. Okay. So this is the basic thing that you are going to do in case of stability analysis, that we will see in the next video. Okay. Thank you. Hope this part is clear for you. Thank you.